game here in Bender. We'll receive a free limited edition collector series Claude the Eagle bobblehead courtesy of Team AU partner Geico. Tonight's Keys to the Game presented by AUEagles.com, the official website of AU Athletics. Now a chance to bring Jeremy in. Jeremy?
Dan, I think obviously American got to play up to their potential. They've done pretty well against the better teams on the schedule, being up for those games, playing up to the competition. Other thing is, by Muscala going to get his points in this one, you got to be able to shut down the other guys, not then let them get off because you're paying too much attention to the big guy in the middle.
Again, the Keys to the Game presented by AUEagles.com. Be sure and check out AUEagles.com for previews and recaps for each basketball game. Wablicki set to jump for the Eagles, coming out in the home whites. Muscala in the blue with Bucknell. Muscala at 6'11", Lumpkins, or check that Wablicki at 6'10", and the Eagles control the tip. Munoz bringing it up the floor, dumping to Wablicki. Wablicki hands off Jolivet. Jolivet back over to Munoz right side, and now to the top, and Jolivet swings it left to Schoaf. He drives in, stops, puts the shot up, and gets the friendly bounce, and the Eagles jump out in front.
Starting to see John Schoaf add that to his game where he's taking it to the bucket strong and making points that way.
Cameron Ayers whips it over to Willman. Now trying to get it down to Muscala, but it's picked off. Munoz back up the floor for the Eagles. Right wing, comes in, stops, pops at the charity stripe, can't get the friendly roll, and the rebounds is there for Hill.
That's something American's going to look for, is some mid-range jumpers. Muscala had a tendency to kind of give those up in his defensive pattern.
Johnson over to Muscala on the left side, puts up a long two, can't get it to go, and Jolivet collects the rebound for the Eagles.
Muscala kind of tied under that bucket looking for block shots. He'll leave some things go as the ball goes out of bounds.
Jolivet had it go off his foot, so Bucknell gets possession here just a little over a minute into the game. AU up 2-0.
And that's, we've seen the categories Muscala leads the league in points, rebounds, also block shots, but he's a guy that's kind of lurking off his man, not giving the best help as he's looking to block shots down low. So there are some things you can do offensively off of that. One of them, out of that pull-up jumper, because of Bucknell's scheme, it's open. A lot of teams don't shoot it. American has a few guys that can, like Blake Jolivet.
Willman, top of the key. He's going to hand it off toward Ayers. Now Johnson swings it over to Ayers, looking to dump it down to Muscala. He's got it going up against Wablicki. Now he'll get it back out to Ayers, puts up a three. Right part of the rim, that's no good, but the rebound collected by Willman. Back into the hands of Muscala, drives right side, puts the shot up, it's short, and Wablicki collects it for the Eagles.
Good job by Tony, moving his feet. Didn't pick up a cheap foul. That's one thing Muscala loves to do, is get guys in foul trouble with his skill set.
Jolivet over in front of the Bucknell bench to Wablicki, top of the key. He'll put it on the deck and hand off. Jolivet drives in, loses a handle on it, and it ends up out.
Joe Willman got a hand kind of slapped down on that one. Referees letting some things go early on. That may be a good thing for the Eagles.
19 seconds on the shot clock. Munoz looking to get it in for the Eagles. Bounce pass to Schoaf. He'll drive along the baseline, but again, it's out. And there's going to be a whistle. That's going to be on Ayers. First time he's been whistled in the game. The junior guard averaging 12 points. Munoz gets it in. Jolivet immediately pops and connects. Blake Jolivet a deuce, and the Eagles are up 4-0.
Nice move off the curl. Guys moving without the basketball. Gets that one open.
Bucknell entering play today. Tied with Lehigh atop the standings in the Patriot League. Kicking it out. Willman puts up the shot. That's short, and Munoz grabs it for the Eagles. Back up the floor for the senior point guard. Feeds to Schoaf, and Schoaf will take the extra step. Whistled for the travel, and Bucknell gets possession with 17:37 to play in the first.
Jeff Jones liked that. He's looking for a different move there, and Schoaf kind of got caught in between, shuffled the feet before he made his move.
Hill slings it over to Johnson. Johnson working his way to Willman. Muscala driving, has it knocked away, and Wablicki comes away with it.
Another good play by Wablicki. The coaching staff for American really complimentary before the game, saying how Wablicki has done well against Muscala in the past. Thought he'd be able to hold his own tonight.
So far, so good for the Eagles against Muscala. NBA hopeful as Munoz circles around, looking to bounce it toward Lumpkins. He'll lose a handle on it. It's out, and Bucknell has possession.
Those things so far for the Eagles had a couple of miscues and turnovers, a problem for them as of late. Really, Bucknell kind of cold shooting early on. If you're Jeff Jones, you'd love to see your team execute a little bit better, build a little bit of lead up for the inevitable Bucknell run.
Hill passes off to Muscala, quickly gets it to Johnson, top of the key, slings it to the left, and Ayers. Looking toward Muscala, looking to dump it down to Muscala, and a whistle. Muscala tonight has brought some NBA scouts to the game. The Brooklyn Nets, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards, Houston Rockets are all in attendance tonight. Muscala takes the inbounds pass and gets it to Johnson. He'll drive and kick it over to Ayers. Open three-point attempt up, rattles around, and good.
A lot of English on that one, kind of took all parts of the rim.
Ayers breaks the drought for Bucknell, and they pulled it within one. Show forks it to Joe Levette. He'll circle around left side. And now to Lumpkins at the top, right back over to Joe Levette, left side. Johnson on Joe Levette. Blake looking to dump it down toward Rablicki, but it's knocked away. And coming away with it is Johnson. Back up the floor for Hill. Johnson works it over to Ayers, right corner. That's where he hit the three last time down. Instead, Willman takes the shot this time and drains a long two. Bucknell on top.
And Willman was really a non-factor in last year's game because just some of the defensive matchups, he couldn't be effective. Looking to have a better game today, having a great year so far.
5 unanswered points for Bucknell. 1 point lead, 15:35 to play here in the first. 20 seconds on the shot clock as Schoaf bounces it over to Munoz. Danny slings it to Joe Levette now, right back over to Munoz, right side. He'll put it on the floor as he rattles around, turns around, shoots, connects. Daniel Munoz, his first points of the evening, and the Eagles are back on top, 6-5.
Another mid-range jumper for American. They're executing part of the game plan to perfection.
Ayers thought about a three, instead gives way to Willman. Willman, turnaround Jay, up and good. Joe Willman now has 4. Lumpkins, the turnaround shot. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor, and we'll take it as well here with 14:39 left to play. In the first, it's a 7-6 Bucknell lead over American.
Turn your attention to the video board and sing along with the words to the AU fight song.
Yeah, I totally, she was my phone. She was messing with my phone by accident, so I totally was not paying attention there. What happened? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Muscala. He got hit in the face. I'm trying to figure out if they're working on his nose or his eye. I think they're working on his nose, but I'm not sure. 15.
Congratulations, Katie and Kat, and thank you, Domino.
Dan Lang, Jeremy Huber back with you at Bender Arena, where Bucknell has the 7-6 lead over American with 14:39 left to play here in the first. Eagles looking to bounce back after that loss at Army. Bucknell looking for another win. They're coming off a W on the road against Holy Cross. Bucknell has won 4 of 5 since conference play began, sitting with a 17-4 record as Mike Muscala is being tended to over on the sidelines.
Yeah, they called a walk-on lump, and there was some contact there at some point. We haven't been able to completely see because between the cheerleaders and the coaching staff kind of in the way. We think they were working on his nose, though Muscala has been kind of futzing around with his jaw a little bit. So I think Lump got an early blow-in on this one. We'll see. I'm assuming Muscala should be no worse for wear, but he's sitting completely away from the huddle right now as the doctor kind of works over on his own, getting some more things out.
Fans, American University would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, Ameritel Corporation, your hometown place for copiers. For all your Canon and Kyocera copier needs, call Ameritel at 301-251-0222 or visit online at ameritelcorporation.com. Again, 301-251-0222. The Eagles back in action right here at Bender Arena for a game against Lafayette on Saturday. That is a 2 p.m. tip time. The next Wednesday, the league has off because that's the midway point. Everybody's faced everybody once. And then back in action on Saturday the 2nd against Lafayette, or check that, against Colgate with a 2 p.m. tip time. So a 3-game homestand for the Eagles. Hope you'll make your plans to come on out after tonight. The Lafayette and Colgate games, you can log on to aueagles.com or call 202-885-TIXX, 202-885-TIXX for all of your ticket needs.
And right now there's a conference with the 3 officials and both coaches. We can't exactly figure out what they're conferencing about. Dave Paulson seems to be talking a lot more than Jeff Jones in this one, but it has been an extra long time out here, that's for sure.
So Stephen Lumpkins has been assessed with a flagrant.
And as Dan's going to get the broadcast right now from the referee, but interesting that it was early. It was called a travel at first, but now they're going to go ahead and make the flagrant as Muscala is going to step to the line and shoot the free throws. Dan, what did the official tell you?
So the elbow to the nose from Lumpkins to Muscala, and they went to the monitor, saw blood. They had to clean that up. They did so, and now Muscala getting a chance to shoot the shots. Gets a chance to shoot a couple from the charity stripe, where he's an 80% free throw shooter and makes that one.
Something funny about that, where 3 referees, it was called a travel, then all of a sudden it goes to the monitor, becomes a flagrant foul.
Next shot up, and he connects. So Muscala able to make both ends there.
I'm assuming they got that off our Eagles Vision TV broadcast, as I don't think anyone's broadcasting this over the air tonight.
Jesse Reed checking onto the floor for AU.
And interestingly, Dan, now Muscala goes back off the court after shooting the foul shots, getting checked on again.
Dom Hoffman comes on in his place. Hoffman hands it off toward Johnson. Johnson slings it to Casper. Now Casper passes right back over to Johnson, has it knocked away. Picked the pocket by Joel Levette, looking to bounce it to Munoz. Munoz, hook shot up, can't get it to go. Tip back isn't there, off the fingertips, and it's collected by Hoffman.
Jeff Jones railing on the referees about a foul. Thought there was some contact there.
Frazier bringing it up the floor. Passes off to Willman. Willman to Casper. Casper now slings it to the left, and Johnson puts up a triple. Can't get it to go. Munoz jumps up and collects it for the Eagles.
And Bryson Johnson, really the main three-point threat here for Bucknell. Very good at it, but the only one that really shoots a lot. Errors as well a little bit, but not as much as Johnson.
9-6 Bucknell leading American, 13:45 to play here in the first as Joel Levette puts the shot up. Can't get it to go. And Willman controls the boards for Bucknell.
I think one of the Bison guarding him got a piece of that one as he shot it.
Casper toward Willman, turnaround shot up, that's no good. Lumpkins able to use his height and get the rebound.
Interesting to see how Bucknell attacks things here with Muscala off the court for a long stretch, what their main weapon of choice is going to be.
Munoz toward Schoaf, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Reed rolls it down to Lumpkins. Lumpkins, as he made his move toward the paint, there's going to be a whistle. And so that's going to be on Dom Hoffman, whistled for the first time in the game. Munoz looking to get it in, does so to Schoaf. Immediately puts up a three, and airballs it past the rim. Frazier back up the floor for Bucknell. Playing with a 3-point lead. Casper passes back over toward Frazier. Frazier out along the three-point line. Bounce pass, Casper. Now the shot is up from Hoffman. Rattles around, no good. And Jolivet grabs it for the Eagles. Jolivet going to draw a little contacts from Joe Willman. First foul.
And if you're Dave Paulson, you don't really want to see Willman commit that one, kind of on the screen, some incidental contact, and he'll get him out right now. And Bucknell going deep into the bench a little bit.
Ryan Fitzpatrick onto the floor in place of Willman. Munoz gets it into Jolivet, passes off Lumpkins, hands it right back to Jolivet. Left elbow, shot up, connects. Blake Jolivet, his second bucket of the game. He's got 4, and the Eagles pulled it within 1. Casper looking for a friendly, finding Fitzpatrick, handing it toward Frazier. Right back over to Casper. Now the big hook shot is up, and that's good from Fitzpatrick. He checks in, first time down the floor, and that's a deuce.
And you got to like that from Fitzpatrick, who gets in, gets quick, gets a good position on Lump, and able to get a nice little hook shot there.
Bucknell, 3-point lead here with just under 12 to play in the first. Jolivet passes off Schoaf. Now Reed left side. Jolivet back out to Reed. Open three-point attempt up. Too strong off the back part of the rim, no good, and Fitzpatrick controls the boards for the Bison. Ayers over to the left side. The shot is up and good. A 2-point attempt, and Fitzpatrick connects. He's now got 4.
You look at some of these Bucknell bigs, they seem to be able to shoot that ball pretty well from the mid-range game, just like Muscala, getting some offense from that part of the floor.
Munoz passes strongly toward Lumpkins. Lumpkins back to the basket, goes up strong, can't get it to go, but does draw the contact, the foul, and a chance to go to the strike. So a timeout with 11:10 left to play here in the first. We'll take it as well. 13-8 your score. Bucknell leading American aboard Patriot League All Access.
Eagles fans, it's time for the U.S. Marines Ladder Drill Challenge. Our 2 contestants are Andrew and Phil. They'll race down the court performing physical challenges. They'll begin with 10 sit-ups, followed by 10 jumping jacks at midcourt, and then 10 push-ups. They'll grab a ball and shoot a basket. The first to do all the challenges will be a winner and receive a great prize pack, courtesy of the Marines. Andrew and Phil, on your mark, get set, go! There they go. First, it's time for the sit-ups.
Now, how could they go and look at our Class C monitor? Do they have a monitor over there?
I have no idea. But that's what they said. I mean,
yeah, that's what
they
said,
done
yeah.
it.
Chapelville, we're not doing it.
And now 10 push-ups. Andrew on the floor first.
Checking Facebook.
Right,
Checking Facebook. Anything interesting on Facebook?
Yep.
What?
What's that?
I said anything interesting on Facebook?
No.
There we go. Congratulations. And to find out if you have what it takes to be a Marine officer, log on to marineofficer.com or call 1-800
15.
Marines. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back here at Bender Arena, 13-8, Bucknell leading American with 11:10 left to play here in the first. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Geico Insurance. Be sure to visit geico.com, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance.
Well, Dan, it looks like Muscala back on the bench. He's got a bandage on his chin, so maybe he got a split chin there, and that's why he was out there trying to stop the bleeding, maybe.
So Lumpkins, who was assessed with a flagrant on that play, puts the shot up, and it's good. The play we're speaking of is the play that put Muscala on the bench, and it does look like a huge bandage on his chin as the next shot is up, and it's good for Lumpkins. So Lump with his first points of the game. He'll check out as Tony Wroblicki checks in, and the Eagles trail by 3.
And you could also see on his jersey earlier, they have white numbers on the Bucknell jersey, the big red spot, obviously blood. Probably had to try to get that out of that or give him a backup jersey.
Willman works it over to Ayers. Ayers passes back out to Hill. Hill, right side, being shadowed by Reed. Curves around, puts it up and in. Ryan Hill with his first points.
A little breakdown on defense by American there. A few guys all jumped on Hill, still couldn't keep him from getting to the bucket.
Munoz toward Wroblicki, now down to Munoz along the baseline. Back out to Joe Levette. 20 seconds on the shot clock for AU. Joe Levette weaving his way through some traffic. Instead goes back out along the perimeter to Reed, and now Munoz right side. Back to Schoaf. And a whistle.
Eagles ball, shot clock reset to 15 seconds.
Shot kick ball, I believe. So they're going to reset the shot clock to 15, not to the all the way up like they used to.
So Munoz gets it into Wroblicki, passes off to Schoaf. Wroblicki in the paint, left shot up, that's no good. The rebound comes down for Hill. Working it quickly up the court to Johnson. And he'll take the extra step, whistle for the travel, and the Eagles will get possession down 5.
And you're kind of surprised. You'd think Johnson kind of has the green light on that one. If he's got the open transition 3, go ahead and shoot it because he's so good from the outside on the season. He's shooting at 42%, so you think Dave Paulson wouldn't be too upset with that shot.
Munoz comes in, circles around, the runner, he makes it. Munoz, his second bucket of the evening. He's now got 4, and the Eagles pulled it within 3. Ayers working it along the 3-point line, finding Johnson. Johnson slings it across the floor to Ayers. Ayers puts it up, dials long distance. Too strong, and Joe Levette grabs it for the Eagles. Chance to tie for AU, trailing by 3. As Joe Levette backs off. Blake weaving his way in, looking to find Reed. Reed now comes in on the paint, stops, puts it up, drains it. Jesse Reed, his first points of the game, and the Eagles pulled it within 1.
American doing a good job of spreading the floor there, letting some of the guys that have advantages in speed drive and trying to create something. Reed eventually did.
Ayers looking toward Johnson, left wing. Johnson battling with Munoz, driving the paint. Shot is up, that's no good. However, it's collected by Ayers, and his turnaround J connects.
That one missed so badly that American didn't know where to react to it, while Ayers could find the ball and got to the spot.
So Ayers now with 5, lead back up to 3 for Bucknell as Mike Muscala sits at the scorer's table, looking to check back in for the Bison. Joe Levette puts the shot up, off the mark. Rebound comes down for the Bison. Fitzpatrick gets it. Lumpkins and Muscala talking at the scorer's table. As Johnson passes off toward Willman. Willman, turnaround baseline shot up, that's no good. And Wroblicki gets the rebound for AU.
You probably have to think a little bit of, hey, I'm sorry, man, for doing that to you. Muscala probably say, hey, it's not your fault, you know, it just happens.
Munoz passes out to Reed, now over to Schoaf. Driving it down toward Wroblicki. Wroblicki battling toward the paint. Instead, he'll pass it out to Schoaf. And Schoaf, as he got going, is going to draw some contacts. Timeout. We'll take it as well. 7:41 left to play here in the first. 3-point lead for Bucknell. The Bison over the Eagles, 17-14 on Patriot League All Access.
Is now joined by Ameritel's AU account representative, Bill Carey, and a lot of youngsters who will now be presented with a game ball signed by the 2013 Eagles basketball team. Thank you, Ameritel Corporation, for your continued generous sponsorship of the Eagles. Fans, let's hear it for Maritel, Bill Carey, and all our Little Eagles.
Kind of give an opening statement, that way we can kind of dovetail off of that. We can get some stuff you think important out of the way first. So, of course, right before he starts, the guy comes on that I do the stuff for. I'm having problems. Like, he basically goes into this long spiel about, hey, we probably should do this. And I don't think he heard me, but it's just like, shut up. I got it, okay? Jeremy will lead after this one. All right, 5 seconds.
Back here at Bender Arena, 17-14. Bucknell leads American, 7:41 left to play here in the first. Stephen Lumpkins back onto the floor for AU in place of Tony Rablicki. Munoz looking to get it in, does so to Schoaf. Schoaf driving down along the baseline, puts a shot up, can't get it to go, knocked away. And coming away with it is the Bison. Mike Muscala's checked back in for Bucknell. We'll see how he reacts to the injury, the cut on his chin. He gets the basket or the ball and makes the basket. Actually, he's going to be whistled for the offensive foul. So getting a little bit too aggressive there from Muscala, and the Eagles will get possession as Muscala's whistled for the first time.
Really good play by John Schoaf, just kind of sneaking in there on the switch there and getting underneath of Muscala and able to go ahead and draw that charge. Kind of a bang-bang play, but goes Americans' way.
Reed, Joe Levette. Schoaf driving in, passes out. The shot for three, rattles around, that's no good. Battle for it, and the Eagles have it with a fresh shot clock. Munoz drives left side, puts up the long two, off the rim, it's no good. And Muscala collects it for Bucknell. However, contact made with Steve Casper, who tumbles down, and he's going to have to immediately leave the game.
They're messing with his left knee, and he's got his head already buried in his hand. You hope it's not a torn ligament or anything. It could just be banging knees, because I've had that before, and it hurts really bad there for a good 2-3 minutes, and it kind of calms down. But again, Bucknell getting it worse for the wear so far in this one. A lot of physical play.
Ryan Hill checking back in for Dave Paulson's crew. Johnson, one-handed pass to Hill. Hill puts it on the deck, right wing down to Muscala. Muscala going to work versus Lumpkins. Instead passes out to Ayers, open shot up and good. Cameron Ayers now has 7 points. It's a 5-point lead for Bucknell.
At the time, Muscala just passed out of the double team, and Ayers, pretty good shooter, especially for his size.
Kyle Kager whips it over to Schoaf. Munoz at the top, Hill shadowing him. Danny with a bounce pass to Joe Levette. Now Kager. Hands off Schoaf. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Kager feeds Joe Levette. 5 seconds on the shot clock as Joe Levette has it go off his foot, puts up the shot, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. So the Eagles unable to get anything to go there. Blake is going to take a seat on the bench. Jesse Reed back in for the Eagles, playing now with Reed, Schoaf, Lumpkins, Munoz, and Kager. 5-point lead for Bucknell. Hill. One-handed pass over to Johnson. Now down to Muscala. Muscala driving and feeding over to Hill. And as he goes up, he's going to draw contact and winches in pain. John Schoaf is going to be charged.
22, John Schoaf, his first third team foul.
Right now, a bit of a danger zone for American, Dan, where played pretty well in this first half, at least defensively. And Bucknell kind of on the precipice of stretching this lead out.
The shot is up, and it's no good from Hill. He's a 59% free throw shooter. Entering tonight at 19 for 32 as Kager takes a seat and Tony Rablicki rejoins the lineup on the floor.
Hill really the only not good foul shooter in the starting lineup for Bucknell.
Shot up, too strong, and it's collected by Reed. He'll turn around and hand it off to Munoz to bring it up the floor for AU. Munoz drives in, kicks it over to Reed. Reed hands off Schoaf. Thought about it instead. Drives in, right wing. Now passes off Munoz. Lumpkins takes it long. Shot up for Lump, and he makes it. Stephen Lumpkins makes the long bucket, and there's a whistle.
All right, so it's going to be the Lumpkins bucket will count, and then Brackney's foul on Rablicki will send Tony to the line in a 1-on-1 situation, I believe.
And Brackney whistled for the first time. So he's going to take a seat as Brian Fitzpatrick returns to the floor for Bucknell. The Zebras over explaining to Dave Paulson what's going on, and Paulson just rolling his eyes as the shot from Rablicki is up. That's no good, and Muscala towers in and gets the rebound. Frazier works at the Hill. Hill comes in, drives the paint, and the runner's good. So Ryan Hill's now got 4, and it's a 5-point lead still for Bucknell. Bison up 21-16, just under 5 to play here in the first. Munoz drives the paint, puts up the J, makes it. Danny Munoz now with 6.
And we're seeing those shots be open for the guards at the mid-range level, just like the American coaching staff thought would be there. They have been so far.
Ayers passes off Frazier, now down to Muscala. Muscala goes to put the shot up. Can't get it, but does draw the foul. And so Tony Rablicki is going to be whistled for the second time.
At the line, 31, Mike Muscala shooting.
So Muscala is at the line. So far tonight, Muscala has only come away with the 2 points. His shot is up, and it's good. Of course, he did spend a decent portion of this first half on the bench after Stephen Lumpkin's elbow made contact with Muscala's chin. Muscala had to take a seat. They had to clean up the floor and then bandage up Muscala's chin. Next shot. Too strong. Reed gets it for AU.
So Kyle Kager has to play some big minutes here for the rest of the half, as you think Rablicki probably going to sit out the rest of the way until the second half starts.
Munoz circling around, passes out Lumpkins, right back to Munoz. Danny gets it to Lump, hands it to Kager. 15-second shot clock, Jolivet has it, drives the paint, bounces it over Lumpkins. Out to Jolivet. 5 seconds on the shot clock as Jolivet whips it over to Reed, puts up the 3, swish! Jesse Reed, a triple, and the Eagles are pulled to within 1.
Great job by Jolivet. The dribble penetration working that time. Got Reed the open shot. Big thing is he hit it.
Gets some energy here in the building as Muscala takes the feed. His shot no good, however he is there to dunk it back.
And Jeff Jones is furious right now. All that contact down low. Lumpkins seem to be outside the circle. There's plenty of contact. Something should have been called.
Lead back up to 3 for Bucknell as Jolivet comes in. His shot is too strong, and Muscala towers up to get it. So the Eagles are going to be whistled. Jesse Reed with the foul. Jeff Jones barking at one of the refs. 3:08 left to play here in the first. Time out of the floor. We'll take it as well. Bucknell leading American 24-21 on Patriot League.
Loudoun County was founded 1757 as Northern Virginia's ultimate golf experience. It's now time for the 1757 Golf Club Shootout. Our contestant tonight is Doug. Doug has 25 seconds to make a layup, free throw, and three-pointer in that order. If he hits a layup, he'll win a free bucket of range balls. The free throw, a 1757 golf hat. And if he hits all 3 shots, he'll win 2 free rounds of golf with cart, all courtesy of 1757. All right, Doug, let's see what you've got. On your mark, get set, go. Doug makes the layup, no problem. He's just won a free bucket of range balls. 15 seconds, Doug. Come on, Doug, you can do it. Dig deep. There you go. Doug's hit the free throw. He's won a 1757 golf hat. 5 seconds, Doug. One more shot. Good if it goes. It went! Congratulations, Doug. You've won it all. A free bucket of range balls, a 1757 golf hat, and 2 free rounds of golf with cart, all courtesy of 1757. Fans, see for yourself what the DC golf community is talking about. Visit 1757golfclub.com. .42 Cameron Ayers in for Bucknell.
With Lehigh at 4-1, the Eagles checking in at 2-3, looking to get back to the 500 mark in Patriot League play.
Of course, you said close games. Only 5 of the last 7 of these matchups have been decided by 6 points or less, so the Bison Eagles, they always play it close.
Bison, though, have had the Eagles' number of late as Muscala's shot is up. That's no good. And Kager collects it for AU.
Nice double defense there by Lumpkins and Kager. 2 big guys right in Muscala's face, making him work.
Munoz passes off Reed. Puts it on the deck. Down to Munoz. Now Kager drives in. He'll put up a shot. Can't get it to go. And the rebound comes down for Frazier. Ayers works his way past. The extra step is taken by Frazier. So the Eagles, the benefactors of that, get a chance to get the ball back, trailing by 3 with just under 2.5 to play in the first.
Jeff Jones still impromptu coaching with Kyle Kager. I don't think he liked that shot on the offensive end. Maybe looking for a little more of a dish off and maybe reset, get the ball back.
Munoz passes off Lumpkins. Lumpkins driving the paint versus Muscala. Big left hook shot, good from Stephen Lumpkins. He's now got 6, and the Eagles pull back to within 1.
Funny thing is, both bigs making each other work, not getting the ball where they like it down low, more up top and having to work to get into the post.
Ayers passes off toward Frazier. Frazier works it to Fitzpatrick. His shot is up, it's no good, and Lumpkins grabs it for the Eagles. So now a chance for AU to take a lead with 1.5 minutes to play in the first. Munoz stops, pops, drains it. Danny Munoz, another J, and he makes it. He's got 8, and the Eagles are on top again, 25-24, and that prompts Dave Paulson to take a timeout for Bucknell.
And I tell you what, Dan, the game plan working like perfection, knowing Muscala, the guys, the switches may not be there. Those mid-range jumpers, a weapon that hardly anyone uses. American uses them almost to perfection tonight to take this 1-point lead.
Fans, American University Basketball on Patriot League All Access is brought to you by our Team AU corporate partners, Ameritel Corporation, your hometown place for copiers, and by Geico Insurance. Be sure to visit geico.com, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Eagles, after tonight, back at home on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock versus Lafayette. Fran O'Hanlon brings the Leopards into town. Then next Wednesday is an off day. On Saturday, February 9th, the Eagles home again against Colgate, a 2 p.m. tip time from Bender Arena. Log on to AUEagles.com or call 202-885-TIXX, 202-885-TIXX. Grab your tickets today. Eagles playing with a 1-point lead. Muscala has it, going up against Lumpkins, driving the paint. Turnaround shot is up, and Muscala nets it. Muscala now with 7. Back on top for Bucknell. Joel Levette and Jeff Jones is going to call a timeout. Wants to talk things over with his crew.
I think piece of Muscala's bandaging actually fell off. No one's gotten it yet. They don't really know what to do since it has blood all over it. He's getting re-bandaged up on the bench right now.
Fans, hear every buzzer shot, hear every cheer. Now through March, watch nearly every Patriot League basketball regular season and tournament game through its exclusive All Access package for less than $8 a month. Patriot League All Access takes you from your seat to the sideline throughout the Patriot League campaign. For more info, visit the Patriot League website at www.patriotleague.com. Patriot League basketball, the game's on, no matter where you are.
American with the taking their use it or lose it timeout here as they go to the half. We'll see with 26 seconds left on the clock. Eagles get a quick shot off here. They can get a 2 for 1. They don't have to rush it, obviously, with possessions being so precious here against Bucknell and their good defense.
Reed set to get it in for AU, doing so to Munoz. John Schoaf, Stephen Lumpkins, Blake Jolivet also on the floor for the Eagles. 20-second shot clock as Lumpkins has it, going up against Muscala. Lumpkins turning around, putting the shot up. It's no good, and the rebound collected by Fitzpatrick. Back and forth affair here in the first. Right now, Bucknell playing with a 1-point lead. Muscala puts up a long 2, swish.
That's one of the reasons the NBA teams are looking at him, 6'11", but that one just a step inside the three-point line.
9 points now for Muscala. Mentioned how there are 5 NBA scouts here tonight. Muscala's added about 20 pounds to his frame each of the last 2 seasons. So he continues to put bulk on that as Munoz comes in, has the shot knocked away. Lumpkins underneath. He's going to tumble down as he went up for the ball.
Kind of an amazing play there as Muscala blocked Munoz's shot, but only got a piece of it, went over top of him and lumped like a wide receiver on a Hail Mary, goes behind, grabs it, able to get the ball and then get the foul situation. Good hustle.
Lumpkin's shot is up, and it's good.
Interesting, Dan Willman back in with 2 fouls. I think Dave Paulson thinking no way he can get the offensive foul, but trying to get the score here.
Lumpkin's able to connect on both ends. Eagles pulling to within 1, 28-27. Bucknell leading with 4.4 seconds to play here in the first.
And Willman, obviously their long inbounds passer.
Willman looking to get it in, and he does so to Muscala. 2 seconds. Muscala launches, and it's off the backboard and no good. So here at the half, Bucknell has the 28-27.
Season with the win over Army, want to stay as undefeated as they can as they face off with Army. Looks like the other power in the Patriot League play.
Always good to see them doing well. Right here, Bucknell has the 1-point lead over American as second half play starts. A game has seen the lead change 5 times. Eagles have the starters on the floor to open up. Munoz, Jolivet, Schoaf, Lumpkins, and Roblicki. As Willman passes off to Ryan Hill. And Hill's going to take the extra step, turn it over, and the Eagles will get possession. Also Bucknell coming out with their starting 5. Hill, Johnson, Willman, Muscala, and Ayers right now working for Dave Paulson's crew.
And that's the thing with Bucknell is it's a very, very good starting 5. The depth behind it a little questionable. Really guys that don't put out a lot of points. It's really those 4 stars and the other guy, Hill, with the other point scoring.
Lumpkins on the paint going up against Muscala, slings it out to Jolivet, drives in. Jolivet, turnaround Jay, up, good. Blake Jolivet drains it to start the scoring here in the second half, and the Eagles are back on top, 29-28. Willman feeds off Ayers. He'll come in, put up a long 2, and make it.
Kind of back and forth with the scoring here at Bucknell. Didn't really shoot it well early in the game, kind of coming out and looking a little bit better in the second half.
Ayers now with 9 points, and the lead back to the Bison. Schoaf at the top. Ayers tight on him as Munoz takes the pass, left wing. Gets it to Lumpkins. Lumpkins driving along the baseline, looking to put it up, uses the glass, can't get it to go, gets his rebound. His putback is there. Stephen Lumpkins drains it. He's now got 10, and the Eagles are back up 1. Ayers on the right wing, dumps it down to Muscala. Muscala, 23 seconds on the shot clock, goes to work against Lumpkins, battling in the paint. His big hook shot is good. Muscala knows exactly where that basket is. A lot of times doesn't even use the backboard, and they're able to net it. Joel Yvette circling around, right side, fadeaway Jays up. That's no good. And the rebound comes down from Muscala.
Unfortunately, that one left it short, and that was the place you don't want to leave it. Muscala coming out to block the shot. A rebound would have been had down low if it would have gone off the other way.
Willman taking it back out to Hill. Now Johnson. And Johnson is going to draw the foul from John Schoaf.
Haven't heard a lot from him tonight. Bryson Johnson really hasn't taken a lot of outside shots and has scored no points.
Muscala immediately puts the shot up. It's no good. Tipped around, and Muscala goes back and collects it. Nice hustle job there from Muscala. Hill puts up a 3. It's no good. Munoz collects the rebound for AU. Munoz passes off to Joel Yvette. Now back to Munoz. Works it over to Lumpkins. Puts up a long shot. Makes it. A long deuce connected for Lumpkins. He's got 4 here in the second half. Racking up 12 for the game. And the Eagles are back on top in a flip-flop affair.
That's his second long shot of the game. Maybe he'll take it as a challenge off his skills as well.
Willman. Bounce pass, right side. Johnson, or check that, Ayers dancing around. Right back to Willman. Willman puts up the hook shot, can't get it to go, and Lumpkins collects it for the Eagles. Munoz passes hard over to Schoaf. Thought about the 3, instead drives in, bounces down to Roblicki, lays it up and in. Nice job, Tony Roblicki, his first points of the game, and the Eagles now up 3.
And a good job by Munoz to press the pace there, try and get back before Bucknell could set up in their defense. Good things happen.
Johnson works it to Ayers along the right baseline. He'll bring it out a little bit. Now Muscala dumps it down to Hill. And as Hill went up, was unable to get it to go, but did draw the foul. So that's going to be on Danny Munoz. First time he's been whistled in the game.
At the line, number 11, Ryan Mills, shooting 2.
Hill at the stripe at 59% free throw shooter. His shot is up, and that's going to rattle around and no good. Hill, in the first half, missed a couple shots from the free throw line. Jesse Reed checks in place of Tony Roblicki. Hill's shot is up off the front part of the rim. Battled for it, and coming away with it is Schoaf.
Dan, he looks like the baseball pitcher who just can't find the strike zone when it comes to the free throws. He hasn't come close on any of his chances. He had 4 so far.
Joel Yvette rolls in, kicks it out to Schoaf, or check that to Reed. Now working it over to Joel Yvette. Blake comes in, right elbow, puts it up, makes it. Blake Joel Yvette gives the Eagles a 5-point lead. Johnson bounces it down to Muscala. And as Muscala went up against Lumpkins, was unable to get the basket, but did draw the foul. Timeout, we'll take it as well. 15:40 left to play in the game. Eagles up 5, 37-32 over Bucknell aboard Patriot League All Access.
It's his second third-team foul official. Timeout. Fans of Robex Fruit Smoothies and Healthy Eats of Tenleytown is proud to support AU Athletics. Stop by Robex for delicious and healthy smoothies made fresh to order. There's a flavor and energy-boosting pick-me-up for every Eagles fan 7 days a week. It's now time for the Robex Tenleytown Smoothie Spree and T-shirt toss giveaway. Attached to selected T-shirts, the Spirit Squad will give away our coupons for a free smoothie of your choice. Who wants a Rovex smoothie? Who wants a t-shirt? Let the Spirit Squad hear you. If you want a free Rovex smoothie and a t-shirt. Stephen Casper in for Bucknell. Tony Roblicki in for
15:40 left to play in the game as Mike Muscala is at the line. The three-time All-Patriot Leaguer. Player of the Year in the Patriot League as a sophomore. Coming into tonight, averaging 19.5 points a game as the shot is up, rattles around, no good. So far, he has 11 points. Of course, he sat out 7 minutes in the first half after making contact with Stephen Lumpkins, and his chin looked like opened up. Had to leave the game for a while to get that attended to. Shot is up and off the back part's no good.
Bucknell struggling at that free throw line. Usually so good at it. They've had trouble tonight, be it guys who shoot it well, not shooting it well, or guys who can't shoot it, just not doing their usual.
Yeah, as a team, Bucknell, a 74% free throw shooting team. Schoaf, left corner. Casper on him. Schoaf goes across the floor and back out to Jolivet. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Munoz dancing around. Now Jolivet with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Comes inside, puts up the shot, and drains it. Blake Jolivet chalk up a deuce, and the Eagles are up 7.
Big time shot by Blake. Those shots at the buzzer always so deflating for the defense.
6 of Jolivet's 10 points coming here in the second half. Ayers passes out to Casper. Works it to Willman. Down toward Muscala, lost a handle on it, but collects. Ayers has it, goes up, able to make the basket and draw the foul.
That one kind of going to go ahead and call that foul. That's going to go on Jesse Reed, a bit of a freshman mistake that Ayers had the easy way to the bucket and try to go for the shot block, just kind of let it give up the 2 and don't give the 3-point play.
Ayers at the line to shoot 1.
Ayers an 84% free throw shooter. 42 of 50. Coming into this evening, his first trip to the stripe tonight. His shot is up, and it's good. So Eagles' lead at one point was up to 7. Now sits at 4. Reed over in front of the Eagles bench. Passes off to Jolivet. Now Schoaf at the top. He's going to hand off Munoz. As Danny goes in, feeds to Roblicki, puts it up and in. Tony Roblicki, 4 points here in the second half, and the Eagles lead back up to 6. Casper slings it over to Johnson. Johnson's shot is up, and it's good. So Bryson Johnson, his first points of the game, along 2.
Don't want to see him heat up because he can be that outside type of defensive buster when you're going down, doubling down low. He's wide open on the perimeter. He's going to make those shots.
Munoz launches a 3, too strong. Schoaf gets the rebound. His putback isn't there, off the fingertips, and it's collected by Johnson. He'll bring it up the floor. Johnson, as he goes in, loses a handle on it. Reed tumbling down, trying to keep it in bounds, but unable to do so. So Bucknell will get the basketball as Stephen Lumpkins checks out, or checks in, Blake Jolivet out.
I think both possessions, a lot of contact went uncalled. Looked like Shove got bumped pretty big under the bucket before he went up. Down there, it looked like an Eagle may have gotten really either a reach in, as now the referee saying something to the sidelines. But some contact on that drive, too, that wasn't called. Now they're going to clean up some sweat down on the ground.
Well, it's been a physical game all game from both sides. Back in the first half, that flagrant foul play whistled on Lumpkins when he had his elbow catch Muscala.
Which we have to say was called when they went to the monitor, not on the original call.
Right.
Originally, it was just a travel on Lump, and then they went to a broadcast monitor and found it and called it the flagrant.
Casper gets it in to Muscala. He'll kick it out to Ayers. Shot for three. That's no good. Battle for it. Wilman comes away with it. Wilman, left side. Shot good.
Tough play for American there as they had the rebound secured, but two guys fought for it, knocked it away from each other.
Eagles playing with a 2-point lead. Obviously like to extend that as Schoaf passes off to Lumpkins. And now Reed. Wablicki and Munoz also on the floor for AU. Whistle away from the basketball. And so that's going to be on Cameron Ayers. Dave Paulson knew that.
I think Dave Paulson's not happy because it's kind of inconsistent where we saw two sides, guys just getting banged the heck out of each other, then they call a hold, you know.
Munoz gets it into Schoaf. Now Lumpkins looking to go up hard against Muscala. An offensive foul, so Lumpkins whistled for the third time, and that's going to make Tony Wablicki check back onto the floor.
Yeah, Lumpkins kind of just ducked down low and used the shoulder to create some space. I'm thinking they might have called it a travel first. American would have got lucky if they had, but called the foul.
Casper passes off to Frazier. Now Muscala. Casper with 10 seconds on the shot clock, feeds over to Ayers, comes on the paint, puts up the shot, front part of the rim, it's no good, and Wablicki collects it for the Eagles. Eagles up 41-39 here with just under 12 minutes to play. 20 seconds on the shot clock as Jolivet has it go off his knee, knocked around by Muscala. It's out of bounds. Bucknell, though, will have possession when we continue from Bender Arena. 11:50 left to play. Eagles clinging to a 2-point lead, 41-39 over Bucknell.
Series Claude the Eagle bobblehead, courtesy of Team AU partner Geico. It's now time for the Geico shootout, representing Team Gecko on the visiting team bench. Tegan, Ian, and Anthony, representing Team Caveman, Trey, Edward, and CJ. Our teams will have 30 seconds to make as many shots as possible. On your mark, get set, go! 2-0, quick lead for Team Caveman. 2-2 now. 20 seconds to go. 4-2 now. Team Caveman coming back. 10 seconds. 4-4. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Our champions tonight are Team Gecko on the visiting team bench end of the floor. Congratulations, fans. Be sure to visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO, where AU alumni can save big on member discounts.
American University would like to thank tonight's game sponsor, Ameritel Corporation, your hometown place for copiers. For all your Canon and Kyocera copier needs, call Ameritel at 301-251-0222 or visit online at ameritelcorporation.com. Again, 301-251-0222. That's Ameritel Corporation. Here at Bender Arena, AU has the 41-39 lead over Bucknell with just under 12 minutes to play. Bison basketball as Casper brings it up the floor and bounces it to Fitzpatrick. Now Muscala has it knocked away. Rablicki has it, bringing it up the floor, turn it around for some help, feeds to Munoz. Munoz passes to Schoaf, right corner, he'll bring it out. Now Munoz over to Joel Levent, looking to Reed. Instead, Blake keeps it himself, looking to weave his way through some traffic, has it knocked away, and away with it is Ayers. Ayers driving in. "19 seconds on the shot clock as Casper barks out the offensive play, gets it down to Muscala. Rablicki versus Muscala, and Muscala's turnaround shot is short, but Ayers underneath the basket is able to put up the reverse and drain it.
And I think that's the second time, at least in this game, Dan, where there's been an air ball where Ayers has come, gotten, and scored off of it.
And Jeff Jones is going to call a timeout. Eagles had a 7-point lead and have seen that evaporated.
Eagles thank tonight's official game sponsor, Team AU partner Ameritel Corporation, your hometown place for copiers. For all your Canon and Kyocera copier needs, call Ameritel at 301-251-0222 or visit online at ameritelcorporation.com. Fans, put your hands together and welcome back to the floor your AU Spirit program.
On a hot streak at that point, but again, lots of time left to go in this one. But if you're the Eagles, you have to be pleased. Have you played so far? Now the question is, can you keep this up for the next, just under 11 minutes?
Game all knotted up at 41 apiece as John Schoaf looks to get it in for AU and does so to Munoz. Schoaf slings it to Kyle Kager, rolls it down toward Rablicki, and there's going to be a whistle. So that is going to go on Joe Willman, and that's his third.
They're going to switch their matchups off now, where Willman will go off and get Kager, and they'll bring Fitzpatrick over on Tony, try not to pick up that fourth foul on Willman.
Rablicki looks to battle his way to the paint instead. Is going to pass it off to Reed. Reed slings it over to Munoz. Munoz drives in. Now passes off to Kager. Now Schoaf, left side, puts up a three. Swish! John Schoaf drains a triple, and the Eagles are up 44-41.
Great job by Kager. Didn't put up the quick three. Made the extra pass. Got to Schoaf for the wide open look.
Last home game, Schoaf drained 8 threes and had 27 points. At the other end, Frazier puts up a triple. That's no good, and Wroblicki grabs it for the Eagles.
Frazier having a tough day. Actually, it should be him and Hill kind of having tough days out there, but a wide open three. You'd think a dagger, but couldn't get it to go down. Now American has a chance to get some breathing room.
Reed battling with Fitzpatrick. Now down to Wroblicki. His turnaround shot is no good, but he does draw the foul. So Wroblicki will get a chance to go to the line as Ryan Frazier's whistled for the first time. Wroblicki, just a 58% free throw shooter, measures it up. And his shot is up and too strong. Blake Jolivet on the court in place of Danny Munoz. Wroblicki eyes the orange and makes it. Wroblicki has 5 points in the game, all of those coming here in the second half. Eagles maintaining a 4-point lead, 45-41. 9:35 left to play. Ayers passes out to Willman. Willman looking to dump it off to Muscala. Muscala feeds, and the shot from Brackney is good.
And again, American losing a guy, cutting to the basket. Muscala just doing a great job. That's why he's a great player, finding that open guy for an easy look.
Kager passes off Schoaf. Immediate turnaround shot is up. Can't get that to go. It's out of bounds. And Bucknell has the basketball. Kager the last to touch. Willman, Ayers, Johnson, Muscala, and Brackney on the floor for Bucknell. Wroblicki, Reed, Jolivet, Kager, and Schoaf for the Eagles.
Jeff Jones giving the referee an earful right now.
So a whistle. John Schoaf getting a little too aggressive with Cameron Ayers. So Schoaf whistled for the second time. Ayers puts up a three. That's no good. Jolivet circles around with the basketball. Eagles playing with a 2-point lead, looking to extend. Jolivet top of the key. Bounce pass, left wing, and Schoaf slings it over to Kager. Kager back to Jolivet. Reed rolls it down to Wroblicki. Wroblicki versus Muscala. And Wroblicki unable to do much, but was able to draw a foul.
See, I believe this was originally, I don't know if this was called on Bucknell or on American. Tony did make some contact up high, but the question is who are they calling this on? I think they're going to say now on American. And again, they're going to go to the monitor here.
The previous play is under.
Oh. Does it look to me like they called that on Muscala first? And now they're going to go check it out. If they go to the monitor, this is going on Tony because he definitely made contact on the jaw. Again, this kind of brings in with the goods and bads of technology where we've really slowed the game down here and kind of going back after the fact to check on something. But I originally thought this was going to be on American because I thought when he turned around and Muscala, now I thought it looked like he was saying that Muscala was the one who kind of brought his chin into Tony's elbow, but at this point, now you kind of slow it down. It kind of changes the perspective on everything. I understand it. Some situations where you miss, you want to get the guy if a guy makes a dirty play. But, that what a dirty play. That's Tony trying to get some space with his elbows. He might have caught but that's the new rules. So that's what they go by.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by AUEagles.com, the official website of AU Athletics. Be sure to check out and visit AUEagles.com for complete previews and recaps before and after each Hoops game, and for that matter, for all AU Athletics. AUathletics.com. The Zebras continuing to discuss after taking a look at the replay.
I mean, again. And this really is a turning play because you go ahead and give, Bucknell the ball back to get a chance to go down and take the lead. Depending on the foul goes on, could give Rablicki his third foul.
Everybody's circling around, waiting to see what's going to happen.
Kills the momentum, and it looks like this is going to go against American. Fans are reacting, and so is Jeff Jones. Fans voicing
so they're
their
calling
displeasure.
another flagrant against Tony this time.
Is the Eagles' 7th team foul.
And I guess the thing that we probably should know and would be nice if the Patriot League rules officials were here, as sometimes they are, just asking, there was never a foul call. That's the thing that kind of gets me is there should have been something and then say, hey, and like I said, maybe the procedure's different, but, call the foul and then, okay, maybe let's go. Because at least before there was the call on Lumpkins, it was put out there, it was a travel, and then they went back and checked. At least Jeff Jones is hot. He is not happy at all about this call.
So Muscala, a chance to go to the line again, drawing his second flagrant, the one in the first half from Lumpkins and here from Rablicki, and obviously drawing the Boo Birds out here at Bender Arena. Muscala misses his first one.
Of course, Bucknell still get a chance to take the lead as they should get the ball back after this as well.
And Muscala misses the second one. Jeff Jones still standing with his arms crossed, staring down the officials. So the Eagles clinging to a 2-point lead, 45-43. See if AU can use their frustration in the positive ways here on the floor. With just a little over 8 minutes left to play. Willman passing down to Muscala, out toward Ayers, right back to Muscala. Muscala puts up the shot off to the right side. That's no good. Rablicki, good job there, realizing it was going out. So he hands away, ended up out, and the Eagles get possession.
And really, you got to like that for American. You have that foul. The only damage is the foul to Rablicki. They don't score in the free throws or the possession.
Jolivet gives way to Munoz. 20 seconds on the shot clock. And a whistle. And a timeout. Looks like the foul's going to go on Mike Muscala.
Second, fourth team foul, official timeout. Fans, be sure to part of an AU tradition this Saturday, February 2nd, for Phil Bender Day as the AU men team hosts Lafayette. Students come early for their pregame fan fest starting at 1 o'clock with free Robex and Coca-Cola and free Domino's Pizza for those in Blue Crew shirts, courtesy of the AU Alumni Association. Alumni and fans, you can get your tickets online at aueagles.com or by calling 202-885-TICKS. And fans, don't forget, open 7 days a week from 7:30 a.m. to midnight. Buoymonger of Friendship Heights Chevy Chase serves up great sandwiches, delicious salads, and desserts. Blue Crew members, show your ID card and get a free drink with your sandwich or salad purchase. It's now time to announce the Buoymonger lucky seat of the game. Congratulations to the Eagles fans sitting in section 114, row F. Seat 5, you've just won a t-shirt and lunch for 2 at Buoymonger. Buoymonger, where Eagles fans go to celebrate. Number 10, Brian Fitzpatrick in for Bucknell.
Back here at Bender Arena, Eagles looking to extend their 2-point lead over the Bucknell Bison with 7:40 left to play. Blake Jolivet passes off to Kyle Kager, puts up a 3, rattles around, and it's good! Kyle Kager hits a triple, and the Eagles lead up to 5.
That's the skill set he has, why he can be such a great player, can shoot that shot, and definitely knocked it down there.
Kager with his first points of the game. Bryson Johnson for Bucknell off toward the right side. Now passes off to Fitzpatrick, and a whistle looks like it's going to go on Danny Munoz. So Munoz charged with his second foul.
Number 3, Stephen Kaspar checks in for Bucknell.
So Stephen Casper is on the floor in place of Ben Brackney for the Bison. Johnson puts the shot up and makes it. Next shot is up, and that's no good. Blake Jolivet controls it for AU.
Just the foul shooting killing Bucknell so far in this game. They're down around the 30% mark.
Coming in at over 70% from the free throw line. Munoz, as he drives in, able to draw the foul from Stephen Casper.
Bucknell foul on number 3, Stephen Casper. That's his fifth team foul. At the line, number 2, Daniel.
So Munoz, 85% free throw shooter. His shot is up, and the Eagles' lead is up to 5.
Now, the interesting thing with these 2 back-to-back fouls probably lets Dave Paulson let Muscala sit on the bench a little bit longer, get more of a blow going back, as if the kind of play had gone continuously.
Next shot is up, and Munoz makes that one. So Danny now at 10 points. That's his average this season. Eagles lead up to 6, 50-44 over Bucknell. Casper passes off to Willman. Willman comes down along the baseline, doesn't have much, and gets it back out to Johnson. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson dancing around, puts the shot up, and it's an air ball. Doesn't get it, and Rablicki collects it for AU.
And a great play by Tony there to keep his dribble alive as he was going to the floor. Referees could have called that a wall, but he kept the dribble a couple times. They gave it to him and let the play continue.
Jolivet over in front of the Eagles bench. Passes off to Munoz. Munoz comes in, circles around. His shot is up. It's too strong. Rablicki gets the rebound. His left hook shot is good. Tony Rablicki, chalk it up. He's got 7, and the Eagles' lead is up to 8.
And a strange play there. I think Joe Willman didn't want to pick up his 4th foul, but just gives Rablicki the shot. And maybe you lose the battle to win the war.
Muscala
Eagles
back.
with their biggest lead of the game. This game, by the way, has seen 10 lead changes. Willman gets it to Casper, now to Muscala. Works it down to Willman. Back to the basket. Left shot is up, and that's no good, but he is able to draw the foul.
Eagles foul on one.
So Kyle Kager charged with his first foul.
19th foul. Number 15, Joe Willman at the line, 2 shots.
Willman has 6 points. He's been a starter for the Bison since his freshman season, and he makes that. Willman, a senior. Stephen Lumpkins back on the floor in place of Kyle Kager. Lump's dad in attendance tonight. Probably wanted to see his boy against Muscala. Willman's shot is up, and he makes it. So Willman now with 8 points. Eagles have a 6-point lead.
Here the Eagles just got to concentrate on still running good offense, get a good shot. It may take a little bit. Bucknell, a good defensive team, but no bad shots here.
Joe Levette, left wing. Gives way to Munoz. Comes in, right elbow, puts the shot up, can't get it to go, and Muscala gets the rebound for Bucknell. Ayers back up. Goes to the bucket, can't get it to go. Muscala goes up, loses a handle on it. It's out of bounds, and the Eagles get possession.
Yeah, both Tony and Lump went up to block the shot. It came off to the side. Muscala had great position and just fumbled it out of bounds.
Munoz, Jolivet, Lumpkins, Rablicki, and Schoaf on the floor right now for AU. Munoz passing off toward Lumpkins. Willman on Lump. Loses a handle on it, tumbling down to the floor. Muscala grabs it for Bucknell. Ayers passes off to Johnson. And he takes it out of bounds, so the Eagles will get possession again.
Yeah, Johnson tried to use that screen, and when he came off of it, just stepped on the sideline, and Dave Paulson kind of incredulous over there. But American dodging a bullet after not a very good possession on their end. They get the turnover from Bucknell, and the teams that really don't turn it over that often, Bucknell, their turnover is rising a bit tonight.
Bucknell coming into this evening, averaging just 9 turnovers a game. Eagles up near 13. Schoaf passes off to Munoz, left side. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Joe Levette has it, curling around on the right. Now Lumpkins has it top of the key. Lumpkins comes in, puts the lunging shot up to no avail, but does draw the foul. And Mike Muscala is going to be with
his third 6-team foul. Official timeout. Fans Eagles basketball thanks DC Trails, the official charter bus company of AU Athletics. Local or long distance, visit dctrails.com for all your group transportation needs. Checking the DC Trails Patriot League basketball out-of-town scoreboard. All final scores from Annapolis, Lehigh 71, Navy 49. From Worcester, Mass, Army 80, Holy Cross 66. From Easton, Pennsylvania, Lafayette 69, Colgate 40. And one women's score to pass along involving your AU women's basketball team. From Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, final American 66, Bucknell 58. At the line for the Eagles, number 32, Stephen Lumpkin, shooting 2.
4 teams lumped up in the top spot, Army, American, Navy, and Bucknell. So American obviously creating a little separation, at least with Bucknell, as Lumpkin's shot is up and no good.
Free throws will be big down the stretch. Bucknell really hurt themselves so far, not hardly hitting any. American could use some.
Lump's shot is up, rattles around, it's no good. So Muscala collects it for the Bison.
That's big, had a chance to make it a 3-possession game.
Johnson dumps down to Muscala. Muscala turnaround shot is up, doesn't get the friendly roll, battle for it, it's out of bounds. And the Eagles get possession.
Tell you what, Joe Willman almost kept that one alive for Bucknell, kept it their side. He's got a knack, only 6'7", but he's caused Lumpkins and Wroblicki some fits, just getting a well-timed hand in there and keeping a rebound going.
Jolivet passes off to Munoz. Danny puts it on the deck, curls around left side. 15 seconds on the shot clock as Munoz has it on the left wing. Feeds to Lumpkins at the top of the key. Now back to Munoz. He'll dance along the 3-point line with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Munoz drives the paint left side. Fadeaway shot up. That's no good. And the rebound comes down for Ayers. Eagles with a 6-point lead. Casper passes off to Johnson. And Blake Jolivet is going to be whistled. So Jolivet charged for the second time in this game.
Tough spot there for Blake because Johnson's such a good 3-point shooter. You got to close out on him quick, and when he did, Johnson able to kind of run right into him and go ahead and get into his chest and cause that foul.
But his shot is up and good. Next shot is up and he drains it. So Johnson able to make both ends. Schoaf. Handoff from Lumpkins to Jolivet. Eagles want to add to their 4-point lead. Munoz passes off to Lumpkins. Now Jolivet has it. 10 seconds on the shot clock as Jolivet dances on the right wing. Now comes in, passes back out to Munoz, puts up a 3, chalk it up. 3-pointer for Munoz, and the Eagles lead is up to 55-48.
That was a long 3-point bucket, but a big one for Danny.
His first triple of the game. Muscala, as he had his back to the basket, is going to draw the contact from Tony Wroblicki. So Wroblicki whistled for the 4th time in the game. So Muscala is at the stripe. His shot is up, and it's good. He's 4 for 9, Muscala is now, from the free throw line. His next shot rattles around, and it's off the mark. Lumpkins collects it for the Eagles.
Right now with Bucknell's limits in 3-point shooting, they have some guys can do it, but a score here would be huge for American, make it real tough on Bucknell coming down the stretch.
Inside 2 minutes, Eagles up 6. Lumpkins puts it on the deck, hands off Jolivet. Blake curls around right side, puts up the shot, it's knocked away. Muscala comes away with it. Casper puts up the long 2 and makes it. His first points of the game. Dave Paulson calls a timeout with his team down 4 with 1:20 left.
Still this one very much in play, obviously.
Yep.
Just a 2-possession game. And if you're American, I'd love to see the Eagles. They've had trouble trying to get it. I don't know if they've looked hard enough that Rablicki keeps getting matched up down low with Willman. He's got the height advantage. You'd love to see Tony maybe get a touchdown here. The problem is I don't think Lump's able to draw enough of Muscala away from him to kind of get enough of an open space for Tony to work down low. We'll see if Jeff Jones tries to draw something up here.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by DC Trails, the official charter bus and group transportation company of Eagles Athletics. Local or long distance, think DC Trails for all of your group transportation needs. Visit online at dctrails.com. Eagles with a win tonight would snap a 6-game losing streak to Bucknell and would get back to the 500 mark in league play. AU right now at 2-3 in conference action. Blake Jolivet set to get it in for AU and does so to Munoz. Bucknell playing the full court, but Blake able to bring it up the floor.
It's nice to have a guy with that much speed be able to go and blow by the defense and reset your offense.
Munoz, Casper tight on him. Danny works it around. Passes off to Jolivet with a minute left. Eagles up 4. Munoz slings it to show 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it off. Lumpkins puts up the shot, front part of the rim. It's no good. And the rebound comes down for Johnson. Johnson puts up a 3. That's off the mark. And a whistle underneath. So they're saying Blake committed the foul. So Johnson, chance to shoot 3, and he is an 80% free throw shooter. He's already made 3 from the stripe, and he makes that one.
I got a feeling that referee is not going to be any Christmas cards from Jeff Jones anytime soon. A couple questionable calls today, and he's made the majority of them.
Johnson working his 3rd shot. That's up. It's no good. Muscala, though, with the rebound. His shot is blocked, and Rablicki goes up and grabs the basketball and draws the foul.
And Lump with the block and Rablicki with the big rebound. Now with the 3-point game, Dan. These free throws so huge. It's going to be a 1-and-1 as Bucknell just committed their 17th foul. Going to be big for him to go ahead and get this one to go down.
Rablicki 1 for 3 from the stripe in the game. Measures his shot. It's up. It's off the back part of the rim and no good. Casper bringing it up the floor. 27 seconds left to play. Johnson puts up the 3. That's no good. Muscala towers up. His putback is there. So Mike Muscala able to drop the deuce. And Dave Paulson calls the immediate timeout with 21.7 seconds left. The Eagles have a 1-point lead.
And right now it's going to come down to execution for the Eagles as Bucknell, they've either got to get a steal or a foul here. You expect maybe Paulson with 21.7 left, maybe to go let his guys go for about maybe 2 or 3 seconds for the quick steal. If you can't get that, you got to foul. And the question is, who does Jeff Jones put out there? You look at the free throw shooters. Obviously, Munoz and John Schoaf are the guys you want to have the ball. Some of the other guys, the free throw shooting not as good as you want. You really prefer to not have them go to the line.
Jolivet's a 75% free throw shooter. Of course, Schoaf a 97% free throw shooter. He's only missed 1 all year.
And even if you do knock the 2 shots down, Bucknell can come down and get to 3. Now the question will be, really, I think if you're Paulson, the only guy you're kind of trusting to knock that three down, either be Cameron Ayers or Bryson Johnson. Obviously 37% for Ayers, 42 from three for Johnson. Those guys, but you're probably still thinking, depending on time, get the quick two, foul again, see what American can do at the charity stripe.
AU comes out with Jolivet, Schoaf, Lumpkins, Munoz, and Reed.
32, Ryan Frazier in for Bucknell.
I'm assuming Jesse in there for his ball handling skills. He only shoots 57% from the charity stripe on the year.
So Blake Jolivet set to get it in for AU. 21.7 seconds left to play in the game. AU clinging to a 1-point lead. Munoz is going to be fouled by Steve Casper. So Munoz and the rest of the Eagles, and for that matter the Bison, will walk up the floor.
That's what American wanted there. Get Danny on the line. One of your best free throw shooters, let him shoot. Hopefully knocks them both down.
Munoz tonight, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Jesse Reed checks out. Tony Rablicki back in for AU. So a little less than 2 seconds expired from the clock before the foul. Munoz, his shot is up and it's too strong. Collected by Casper. And Dave Paulson calls the timeout, wants to draw it up with 15.9 seconds left to play in the game.
I'm gonna, as I think it was, I don't even remember what commentator it was, I always talked about first guessing. I'm gonna first guess a little bit here. If I'm Dave Paulson, I think I would have gone ahead and let my guys go there. You've got really upperclassmen in Willman, Ayers, Johnson, and Muscala that played together forever. I know he wants to get a play here, but I think letting Jeff Jones set his guys might be a mistake. I think you kind of say, hey, look, we've got the experienced team here. Let's go to work, as opposed to, you know, obviously it's the last time out, so you maybe want to take it. But I would have gone ahead and said, heck, let's let my experienced guys see what they can do. But again, that's why he's paid to be the coach. I'm paid to be the commentator.
15.9 left to play in the game. Eagles up 55-54 as Joe Willman looks to get it in and does so to Casper. Looking to Ayers, instead goes to Willman. Back over to Muscala, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Muscala driving in, his shot is up and it's out of bounds. Swatted away.
Blicky got a piece.
So Blicky going up hard, 5.6 seconds left. Muscala gets the inbounds pass, circles around, his shot is up, that's no good. 1 second left, and Muscala hits him. Muscala goes up with a second left, able to drain it, and now 0.2 on the clock, but it looks like they might look at this.
Yeah, that's just a tough break. The guys all went up, and the ball just happens to go to the best guy on the court. I mean, you can't, if you're American, you go ahead, you make a good defensive play, and just in a scramble situation, that's the one guy you don't want to get the ball, and somehow it ended up in his hands, and that's a reason why he's probably odds-on favorite to be the Patriot League Player of the Year.
Muscala's sitting with 15 points. The refs are taking a look at the play.
That's just, we talk about it again, may put a little more time on the clock. And obviously with 3 timeouts, that helps. But if it's anything less than really a second, it's going to be tough to do anything. As now they're going to go ahead and look at the clock, and I think they're saying 0.8 seconds, so enough time for a catch and shoot. Now, I know in the past, I believe Jeff Jones got a game to overtime, I think at Colgate, with kind of a trick inbounds play where you're trying to draw an a defensive charge on the inbounds passer. If I'm assuming Dave Paulson won't go ahead and put someone down there and let that situation. Now he's complaining that American's getting an impromptu timeout here.
Dave Paulson barking about that. Jeff Jones coming over and saying, no, I'll take a timeout here.
Yeah.
Fans, tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Geico Insurance. Be sure to visit geico.com, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Also by aueagles.com, the official website of AU Athletics. Be sure to check out and visit aueagles.com for complete previews and reviews before and after each hoops game. Also, Ameritel Corporation, your hometown place for copiers for all your Canon and Kyocera copier needs. Call Ameritel 301-251-0222 or visit online at ameritelcorporation.com. Again, it's 301-251-0222 for Ameritel Corporation. So right now, Bucknell has the 56-55 lead with 0.8 seconds left to play.
And right now the problem, Dan, is the fact with 0.8 left, you can catch and shoot. The problem is you can't do anything but catch and shoot. You can't pass off and take a shot off of that. Just not enough time. So really you have to either figure out a trick way to get yourself to the foul line or get the ball going forward and having a guy with a chance going towards the bucket to put a shot up.
Eagles are coming out with Lumpkins, Schoaf, Jolivet, Reed, and Munoz. So Schoaf will set to throw for AU.
Ayers guarding the inbounds pass.
Schoaf trying to get it in, does so to Reed. Reed puts up the shot, but can't hit it.
And Dan, they did try to go with that, set the pick down low, and maybe get the defensive foul. Didn't work.
So tonight, Bucknell outlasts American 56-55. AU had a lead for a good chunk of that second half, but the Bison able to bounce back and pick up the win. Bucknell tonight improving to 18-4 overall, 5-1 in league play. Eagles falling to 7-14 overall, 2-4 in league play. And a tough loss for AU. The Eagles played really well at times, but the backbreaker, Mike Muscala, there with the second left.
Yeah, and really what led up to it was they had a chance to saddle at the line. They couldn't do it. They had some possessions with the 6-point lead, and they kind of dwindled down. They just couldn't get, and credit Bucknell. Bucknell plays very good defense, but they couldn't get what they were looking for really out of that last 2-3 minutes. The one points they did get was on the long Munoz 3. So, you got to execute late, and that includes offense and at the foul line. They just couldn't do it. They left the door open a crack, and Bucknell being Bucknell, they were able to go ahead and kick it in.
We'll take a timeout. When we continue, we'll have the post-game show, and we'll talk to the head coach of the Eagles, Jeff Jones. All that coming up from Bender Arena. Again, your final score tonight, Bucknell beats American 56-55 on Patriot League All Access. Oh, the post was here too.